Craig Fountain and Jared Fatty Bates. Get access to special guests, anyone can join the Dawgs Table. Find the link to join the show in the comments when we go live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Periscope, and everywhere on the Big Play Network. Here's your hosts, Craig Fountain and Jared Fatty Bates.
What's going on, Dawgs Table? We are live. I can't be too loud. I'm live on remote.
All right. He is remote at, tell us where you're at, Fatty.
I am at Razzles in Olmsted Falls. We just got done with Illegal Hand to the Face here. Great time. We got volleyball going on. Everybody's partying, having a good time. We're at the Tiki Hut here at Razzles.
That is Fatty, at I Am That Fat Guy on Twitter. Make sure you give him a follow. I'm your other host, Craig Fountain, at Craig A. Fountain on Twitter. We are the Dawgs Table, and if this is the first time you're joining us, here's what we do. We are a Cleveland Browns roundtable discussion show that anybody can join. The link is in the comments. If you can't find the link, let us know. We'll post it again. We want to talk to you. You can click the link, join the show. You can comment. We can display your comment, and we can, there we go. West 3rd and Summit commenting on the show. Justin Masters, there we go. Just like that, we can display your comment. We have a great show lined up today, and we have a special guest. Fatty, why don't we bring him in, and I will let you introduce him. Here we go.
Oh, from the voice of the land, also from Big Play, we have Kevin Arnold joining us on the Browns Table. What's going on,
guys? Oh,
just living, man. All right, so let's get the show started. We have a new segment that we are going to be debuting tonight, and we have a very special guest waiting in the wings. And we attended a Browns Twitter or a fan meetup in Berea, and it was by Top Dog Tailgate at West 3rd and Summit. You saw him comment a minute ago, and they partnered with City Dogs of Cleveland. We connected with them, and we decided we wanted to partner up with them. So we are doing a new segment called Dogs of the Week. Now, during the regular season, we are going to choose an offensive and defensive MVP. Those are going to be our Dogs of the Week. What we are also going to do is we are going to feature a dog, an adoptable dog from City Dogs of Cleveland. And let's go. This is going to be the segment. Are you ready, guys?
Show the video. Let's do it.
All right, and on the screen here we have Beth from Friends of City Dogs of Cleveland. How you doing, Beth?
I'm doing wonderful.
Can you hear us all right? Outstanding, outstanding.
Yeah,
and we're good?
Are we good?
I think we're good. As long I can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can.
Live television. Okay, perfect. So Beth is here with us, and she is with City Dogs of Cleveland, Friends of City Dogs of Cleveland. And I just wanted to bring her on the show and introduce her to everybody because she was an outstanding person for Fatty and I to meet at this get-together, and we're happy to partner up with her. And Beth, why don't you tell us just a little bit about City Dogs of Cleveland, what they do and what you do?
Well, City Dogs is the adoption division of Animal Care and all of our dogs come
Uh-oh.
in as
Uh-oh.
strays in the state of Cleveland. And what this is, can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We're getting a little choppy.
Oh,
Signal's
boy.
a little weak here.
Oh, no. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Let's try it again.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, City Dogs is the adoption division of Animal Care and Control here in Cleveland. The majority of our dogs come in as strays from the city streets. And what we do as our volunteer program with the City Dogs adoption people, we prepare these dogs for a better life. Our nonprofit, which is Friends of City Dogs Cleveland, we provide financial assistance for these dogs. We help with daily enrichment activities. We help with medical care and support the program and our volunteer crew.
All right, we have City Dogs of Cleveland joining the show in the comments as well. Beth, you guys have embarked on a very special project this year. You guys are actually involved at First Energy Stadium. What are you doing there, and how can Browns fans help you out at the stadium?
Well, our amazing volunteer group is actually staffing a concession stand this year. We're going to be in the dog pound, section 121. So if you guys are down at the stadium enjoying the game, come on over. Proceeds from that stand are going to go directly to the dogs. So section 121, you'll see us with our City Dog hats on. Come on over and grab something to drink, grab some snacks, and enjoy the game.
Outstanding. Beth, we appreciate you coming on the show and joining us. I'm going to bring up our City Dogs of Cleveland Dog of the Week. Here it is. We have Raina, female, spayed, 7 years old, 57 pounds, adoptable dog. And Raina is a friendly, vivacious redhead looking to find her forever family. Raina seems like she has never met a stranger, as she's been quick to make friends with everyone around the kennel so far. This bubbly social girl is a major wiggle butt and loves climbing into laps for affection. She'll happily flip onto her back to solicit some belly rubs or wag her whole body gleefully if she gets some butt scratches. Solidly middle-aged, Raina is pretty easygoing and seems mild-mannered. And here, let's put up the contact information here. City Dogs of Cleveland. There's the Twitter and Facebook handles, and there is a phone number there for you. So we are happy to present everybody with the Dog of the Week every week moving forward. And Justin's asking, Beth, for those of us not in the area, how and where can we send donations to?
You can head over to our website, friendsofcitydogscleveland.com, and there is a donation link there. And thank you very much for asking.
Mac from Mutt's, October 17th, Western the Summit.
Hey, we have been officially invited to be guest judges for the Mac for Mutts. So it is a mac and cheese contest for the City Dogs of Cleveland, and Craig, myself, Big Bry from Ham Legal, and a couple others are there to go to hopefully judge the mac and cheeses that are brought up. So can't wait for that.
Outstanding. Yeah. And Beth, we appreciate you joining the show. Hopefully we'll see you again. Raina is a sweetheart by City Dogs of Cleveland. Definitely a kennel fave. Somebody adopt this dog. This could be a match made in heaven. So get a hold of City Dogs of Cleveland. Beth, thank you very much. We hope you join the show again, and let us know how it goes with Raina. All right.
Thank you very much, guys.
Outstanding. Have a good one, Beth. Thank you.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
All right, Kevin, welcome to the show. Kevin's on the Voice of the Land podcast. How you doing today, Kevin?
Not bad, guys. Just living the dream. How you guys doing?
Outstanding. Let's kind of get into some of the meat and potatoes of the show. First off, I almost forgot. We have a training camp ticket giveaway courtesy of Red Leg GI. 2 tickets to training camp on the 17th, and we are giving those away. The instructions were on Twitter, and we have some participants, and we are going to announce the winner now. The winner is Austin And Austin, you'll see your handle there on the show. We'll reach out to you. We'll DM you on Twitter, and we will get those tickets over to you. So enjoy, and make sure you have a good time at the training camp. Congratulations. All right. So, Kevin, did you by chance get to go to this orange and brown scrimmage?
I did not. I was I was still asleep coming back on a bit of a red eye from Seattle over the last week. So I was sleeping instead of being at First Energy Stadium. Sorry, guys.
It looked like an absolute blast. There was reportedly over 25,000 in attendance despite the weather that was up there. And I didn't myself get to make it. And Fatty, you didn't get to go either, did you?
No, I had Twins Festival. So my kids and I go to Twins Fest every year in Twinsburg. So I was not able to make it. I had dad time, and I loved every minute of it. I wish I could have gone, but my two little twinions come first.
Twindians. I like it. But no, it was certainly interesting to see some of the video in the replays and the reporting from the orange and brown scrimmage. One of the coolest things I thought was the chance that Kevin Stefanski and Baker Mayfield had to address the fans. It's not every day that your head coach or quarterback takes the microphone in a stadium full of fans and actually gets to speak to you. Kevin, did you hear the speech?
I did. Yeah, it was posted all over Twitter, so I got a chance to listen to that, and I think they were taken aback in a good way by how many fans were there because they don't know yet what First Energy Stadium looks like, packed and full of Browns fans ready to go. So they sound ready. Fans are ready. It's just time to get the season started.
I can't wait. And it was super cool to hear Baker and engaging with the fans. And I can't wait till the entire stadium's filled up because this is something we haven't seen in over a year. So hopefully everything remains opened up and there's no roadblocks there. Just a couple days from now, we finally have Browns football, and 4 days to be exact. 7 p.m. Cleveland Browns versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is our preseason primer. Fatty.
Yes, sir.
What are you looking forward to with this game?
I really can't say it on here because Fritz would get upset with me. But the one thing I'm actually looking forward to is just seeing football again. I mean, we've been so far without football, especially after the playoffs. I'm just ready to see them actually hit and practice. I'm ready to just see anything when it comes to football. Like, not the Hall of Fame game where Dwayne Haskins is quarterback and Steelers against Cowboys. I don't need to see that crap. I just want to see actual live football and see what our draft picks that we just got can do. Because rumblings that I've heard is JOK is unreal with the speed, and he can't wait to get a hit on somebody. So can't wait to see what happens.
It looks like they're certainly making him fight for a spot atop the depth chart. I believe one was released today, and he is actually listed at third string. So they're certainly going to make him work for that. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, Kevin, I'm curious because we have totally retooled our defense, right? We're pretty much running it back on offense. The defense is the new look Browns. Now, with that being said, we get our first look in a game against the Jaguars, and that comes against the first look at Trevor Lawrence. What are you looking for here?
I'm looking more so for what kind of schemes are they going to run because, a lot of these teams, a lot of these coaches like to try to play this chess game with preseason and now only having 3 instead of 4 games. Who knows how Joe Woods, how Kevin Stefanski are going to approach this, what new wrinkles the offense may have. But defensively, who do we see out there? Myles Garrett dealing with that hamstring injury. You don't want to chance anything with a soft tissue injury. A couple other guys sitting out. I know Denzel Ward has been out with soreness the last few days. John Johnson III, to nobody's surprise, has been a standout leader and standout on the field, making plays all over the place out at camp. It's more so what kind of schemes are they going to run right now? Are we going to get a sense of will it really be 4-2-5 or will the linebackers do they have more confidence in that room to have more of a role on this team for this defense that Joe Woods wants to put out there week to week in this NFL season.
All right. And which unit, if you don't mind my asking, Kevin, what unit are you looking forward to seeing the most? Is it the defensive line? Is it the secondary? Is it that linebacking core? What are you anticipating?
I mean, this preseason is going to be, for me, it's going to be the linebacking core. Not necessarily excited to see it. I think there is some talent in that room, but it's how are they going to respond? I continue to go back to, and I was sitting my cold butt in those seats all the way at the top of First Energy Stadium last year, Monday night game against the Ravens. And we had a linebacker who's trying to get himself back on track, and Mac Wilson didn't even have a tackle in that game, and the linebacker struggled throughout the year. There was a big gap between that defensive line and the secondary throughout the season. I want to see how can these linebackers attack in that middle, but also cover in space in a passing league. It's more so, can you answer questions for me as the preseason and early season gets going in that position, more so than who am I excited to see? Once the season starts, of course, you got to go defensive line and see, can Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett really wreak havoc in that backfield like everybody anticipates?
Outstanding. And we actually have our first guest that's going to come join the table, and that is BJ Schroeder. How's it going, BJ?
Yeah.
How's it going? All right. So anybody can join the show just like BJ, even if you're eating dinner. You're not in the boo-boo bus tonight.
I am.
Oh, you are? Well, you're not actually in the boo-boo bus. You know,
No, it's
you're
on
not
the
going to
bed.
get a siren? Okay.
No.
All right. So Chris here says, Chris Span here says, yep, I saw Mac is the will on the recent depth chart. Definitely interested to see how that plays out. I'm with you. Mac Wilson's somebody that I'm really interested to see come some live action. All right. So
What have I missed?
What's that?
What have I missed?
We talked about the orange and brown scrimmage, and we're talking about the preseason game coming up against the Jacksonville Jaguars
And the City Dogs of Cleveland.
and the City Dogs of Cleveland, of course.
Are we going to talk about Tack McKinley?
Maybe,
Okay.
probably not. Kevin, playing time this week. What are you thinking is what should be the expectation? We've had certain guys like Sean McVay come out and say, I don't know if it'll be true or not, but 0% chance that Matt Stafford is playing in this preseason. Then you have guys like Bruce Arians coming out and saying, yeah, of course, Tom Brady's going to play in the preseason. Where are we going to find ourselves this preseason with playing time for starters?
I think you'll see something like the traditional build-up. Again, only 3 games. So now that third game, you're still going to have to operate as a third game, but still try to figure out the guys at the end of the depth chart, who you really want to keep on this team, who's going to be your special teams unit. So you're going to have to do a lot in one game. But I can see maybe if the starters play in this game, a series offensively, defensively. If you got some injuries over there, you're probably going to see a lot of the main guys like Ward and Garrett and anybody else that's dinged up right now that they don't think is anything serious, but they're going to want to keep them and be as cautious as they can be. You may not see them at all, but starters at most a series or 2 in Jacksonville, and they're really going to dig deep into that depth chart and start getting those answers as early as they can now that they don't have that 4th preseason game to get those answers at the end of training camp.
All right, BJ, we appreciate you joining the table. What are you looking forward to most about this preseason game coming up?
I want to see the offense on the field until it starts clicking. That's what I want to see.
All right, so you want to see how we're going to gel?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I seen today where, I was on another stream I was watching. Reports are that Baker's struggling with the deep ball, which that's going to be huge. You've also Stefanski said to where he's not sure if the defense is supposed to be ahead of the offense, but there's no secret the offense isn't clicking yet. So they have to play, and I think they have to play because you can't afford a slow start again like we did last year. It took us half a season to get the offense going.
Sure thing.
Those coming back.
I'm interested to see, on the offense, the connection with Donovan Peoples-Jones that Baker's developed. Fatty, do you think that we're going to see a lot of that this game?
I hope so. I mean, he has been the talk of the camp as DPJ, right?
Absolutely.
He has been like the top guy and actually transformed himself this offseason. So I'm kind of excited to see, especially for, what was he, a 6th-round pick? I think it was. The other guy I'm really excited to see is Felton. I want to see how they use him. I think he is a Swiss Army knife that I'm kind of excited to see. And then also, I can't wait to see, well, OBJ won't come on the field, but I can't wait to see our tight ends. I want to see what Austin Hooper does. I heard he had a bad Orange and Brown scrimmage with a little bit of the dropsies, but, we're paying him to be the guy. And it sounded like Harrison Bryant is kind of taking over that guy's spot. So kind of just want to see how everything kind of pans out with my own eyes.
Outstanding. And just go ahead, BJ.
He's on a trading block, right?
What's that? I'm sorry?
So the rumor out of Cleveland is that Hooper's on the trading block.
I mean, it's certainly a rumor. I don't know how valid that would be. I would be pretty surprised if they put Hooper on the block and moved on from him, unless they were 100% sure that Njoku and Bryant could carry the workload, especially with the way Stefanski likes to use 3 tight ends. I would be super surprised, unless it was a salary cap issue. I don't know. Kevin, do you think there's any possibility that happens?
I mean, if they were to do that, then you might be seeing them reveal that they're more football than analytics. Like, everybody still thinks that this is still analytics driven, and I think it is. I think that if they were to trade Hooper, they would be going more football based than analytics based. And I say that because if you're going to get rid of a guy that you gave the highest tight end deal to in free agency, you're going to be paying all that money. You're going to try to get all that's worth, unless the situation comes down to it within that final year and a half of the contract to let him go. But we're only in the second year. I believe it was a 4-year contract that he signed, only in the second year, and haven't seen him. I think that a lot of these reports about who's struggling, who's not, offense, if they start slow, it's definitely not going to take anywhere close to a full season or a half a season for them to get going like last year. If anything, it may take, a game or two to really get the thing rolling. But I go back to what Baker said. He hopes that he struggles in camp. He hopes that the toughest defense he has to go against is the defense that on paper looks like it could be one of the best, if not the best in the NFL this year. So if they play up to that sort of potential, then hopefully, that's where he struggles, and then everything else just comes together as they go against and game plan for all these other NFL teams in the 17-game season.
Well, I just looked up Hooper's contract. They backed into that thing so bad. So right now he's only making $4.5 million right now, with a $2 million signing bonus just this year. Next year he's due to make almost $10 million, and same with the year after that. So I don't know if you would trade him now, but it might be afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know that he's done a whole lot to actually increase his value to where we could get a good return. There's the link, Beth, right there for Justin Masters, Friends of City Dogs of Cleveland /donate. So make sure you can you go on that link if you want to donate to City Dogs of Cleveland. But back to what I was saying, I don't know that Hooper's increased his value since he's been here to where we could actually turn that into some sort of a profit or a value that would make sense for us to move him, considering that's all his salary is right now. Just a reminder for anybody watching the show, if you comment, we can display your comments. You can ask us questions. You can ask Kevin questions. You can ask BJ what he's having for dinner. And if you click the link in the comments, you can come into the show. You can talk to us face to face. Papa John's?
Uh-uh.
All right.
No, this is Nikki's Pizzeria out of Campbell, Ohio. Small mom and pop shop. Some Italians in there.
Oh, I can't wait.
Pretty decent pizza.
Craig, I'm ready if you want to do it.
All right, so here we go. Kevin, stick around. We are moving on to another one of our segments. This is Fatty's Hot Seat.
All right. So, how many starters will play in this next preseason game? I think most of the main starters are going to be out. I think OBJ is out. I think maybe Juice will be out. Defensive wise, obviously the guys that are injured. I don't think you're going to see much of Clowney now with a hamstring or Garrett with a hamstring. Nice, both of them have it. I think you're going to see a lot of guys that they still don't know exactly how they got to feel on them. So expect Demetric Felton, expect Dearness Johnson in the backfield a lot. You're going to get Chubb for maybe a series, but there's going to be some also guys. Grant Delpit's going to be out, I assume, because he's still injured. But also keep an eye on Greedy Williams. Let's see how Greedy does if he gets some playing time on this and see how he goes from there. But also, my other thing to watch, injuries. Injuries always happen in preseason games. And hopefully the snake does not bite the Cleveland Browns this year, because that's the one last thing we need. And last off, I'm kind of with BJ. I want to see what the offense can do after a whole year. Get Baker out there on a 2-minute drive and see what he can do. So that is Fatty's 3 things to watch. Are you muted? You're muted still, Craig. Come on.
I've done that once or twice.
You think?
What am I doing here? It's like it's my first day. All right. Preseason injury report, week 1. Questionable Anthony Schwartz, Odell Beckham Jr., Malik McDowell, and Grant Delpit. I didn't see any updates today as far as whether or not these guys will play, but that was what was released. Will Craig attend a playoff game in the cold? Yes. For playoffs, yes.
Wow.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will. Week 17 with no shot? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not getting cold. I live in the Canton area. So does BJ. So it's a drive for us. But I would brave the cold for the playoffs. But if we're 3-12 headed to 3-13, you won't find me up there if it's snowing. I like my beer, my pizza, and my couch. We have that.
BJ, can I call bullshit right now? Am I allowed to call bullshit on him? He ain't coming up for a playoff game. Bullshit.
Yes, 1,000%. I'd be up there for a playoff game. You guys, I will order Craig a Snuggie.
I love it.
I will wear it. Order me a Snuggie. I will wear it. Who's buying my tickets? Can I get tickets out of this too?
Can we get you the Christmas Story bunny to wear to the Browns game?
You know, if you buy me tickets, you can pick my outfit. All right, for a playoff game.
I mean,
how's that?
Any outfit, right?
I have to be warm. Okay, it's gotta be a warm outfit.
You said pick the outfit. You did not.
No, you're not going to catch me in like the Denver Broncos barrel guy. You're not going to catch me in something like that.
No.
But if there's a Snuggie involved,
I was
they
going
can
to go
check
with
the tape, right? They can check the tape.
They can check the tape. Oh man,
I was going to go with
we need a dump button.
I was going to go with like a classy, cop, lingerie for you.
Oh man, no. All right. Oh man, this went bad. Kevin,
Yeah.
I just made another rookie mistake. I left myself on mute and I made a stupid promise. What else do we have going on in the comments here?
Oh, there it is. Stop clicking it.
Beers on me for playoffs. Beer jackets engaged. There we go. Dave at Big Play, thanks for joining. You are going commando when it's 5 degrees. 0% chance. 0% chance. Man, this took a weird turn tonight.
Yeah, it did.
Hey,
It did.
like a button on a fur coat.
Oh, man. So that's the wonderful thing about our show, though. You guys, the viewers, you control our conversation. You can engage with us in the comments or come on the show and talk to us. We have an agenda, but ultimately, whatever you guys want to talk about, come on the show. Eric's had too many beers. We're not displaying that comments. All right.
I will. There it is.
Oh, man. All right. Jeez. Kevin, do you go to the
He's a grower, not a
do you
shower.
go to the cold what? Huh?
He's a grower, not a shower.
Oh, stop. All right, Kevin, will we find you at First Energy Stadium in the cold?
I mean, I don't know how to transition out of any of that, but yeah, you'll find me in the cold because I went to that Monday night game against the Ravens. I had probably one of the worst seats you can get, but best seats because you can get the 11 on 11 look all the way at the top. My fiance and I, we were freezing our what's off, but wouldn't have changed it for the world. Even though we lost, I wouldn't change that experience. I don't know. It's just something about football in the cold. You just got to experience it somehow, some way.
Dude, them top seats are fun because especially I like the ones like the cheap ones on the end because then you really watch the routes open up, you watch the holes open up. You can see everything. It's really cool.
One of my first Browns games I went to, my dad took me to one. I mean, I had to have been in junior high, early 2000s, and it was back when they were serving nachos in the brown plastic dog bowls. And I remember carrying my nachos back to the seat, and they were basically frozen by the time I got back there. So I've been to one or two. I just, playoffs. I'll go for the playoffs. All right.
So,
can we move on, Fatty?
Hold on. I just want to say, so for those of you that don't know, the guy that's actually doing all this writing came up with Fatty. So there's Eric, Western Summit right there. And he is watching our show live here with me at Razzles. So Eric, thank you so much for chiming in on the Dawgs Table.
Yep, and that is Top Dog Tailgate, right?
Yes, it is.
There you go. There you go. All right, what else do we have in the comments?
Speaking of tailgate, who was some guys we ran into Saturday night?
Oh, we ran into Nats tailgaters. We actually are at a campground, and they apparently come out in waves. Hall of Fame weekend because we're in the Canton area. There was Browns tailgaters there was Lions, there was Steelers, there was Buffalo Bills, there was the Browns backers bus, the dog with the helmet on the front of the bus, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So that was pretty cool.
The inside of that thing is wicked.
Yeah, they've got a full bar inside there, and there's a lot of signatures on the wall.
You posted a video, didn't you, Craig?
I did post a video, and it's actually on the @Dawgs Table TikTok. And Fatty can shake his head all he wants, but that's where it's at.
Oh, no, I don't care about that. That's you. That's all you.
All right. Fair enough.
Fatty, get on TikTok.
You can get on TikTok all you want to.
Fatty,
all you want to.
If Fatty got on TikTok, he'd never come outside. He would get roped in so hard to TikTok.
It's a wormhole that a rabbit hole. You fall down, and next thing you know, you're 3 hours into it, and it's 2 a.m, and it's the closest thing you can get to hookers and cocaine with ass shake and.
I knew it was coming.
All right.
There it is.
Greek Rocket. Great name, I think. Why am I scared that the Browns aren't going to stay healthy? Because
you're a Browns fan.
History. We're Browns fans. We've gone through everything from Gary Baxter tearing both ACLs and MCLs in one play. We've had LaCharles Bentley. What was that? An Achilles on the first snap of the first play on the first day of training camp. We've had a ton of disappointments over the years. But yeah, that's why we're worried about it. All right. So, Fatty, where are we going next? Now I'm lost.
I don't know. You're running the show, bud.
All right.
We got off on a tangent with you and like Top Gear and cold weather, and it just snowballed from there.
Yes, it did. All right. Let's go to our Twitter poll of the week. All right, so we posted our weekly Twitter poll, and this week it was who has been the biggest surprise in training camp so far. We had Donovan Peoples-Jones, Mac Wilson, Jadeveon Clowney, and and opened up the comments. Let me get your opinions. Let's go around the table. Fatty, what is your answer to this question?
Jadeveon Clowney, because he's actually in camp. I don't think he's seen a camp in like 6 years. And that's like my joke. I'm like, yeah, of course this is his best camp because he finally showed up to one. So I'm going to go with that one. I've heard that Peoples-Jones has had a great one, but I'm going to go with Clowney because he actually showed up. It looks like he's having fun for once.
All right. And BJ, what do you think is the biggest surprise of camp?
I think it's got to be Peoples-Jones.
All right. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
All those
He
highlight
showed a
reel
lot.
catches.
I tell you, that's why I'm afraid of Beckham taking playing time from him, man. I think that we've got some young. I don't want to let Landry go just because he's who he is. But I don't know, man. I don't want to see us lose good young receivers because we're stuck to OBJ. But that's a different conversation for a different day.
All right, Kevin, who has been the biggest surprise in training camp? Are we looking at Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jadeveon Clowney, somebody else? Who are we looking at?
I'm going to go Mac Wilson, just because, just seeing him being able to fly around. And yeah, I think you're really seeing and hopefully seeing the metal of the man, the personality traits of the guy behind the scenes, because he's been taking a lot of criticism during the offseason. He's probably been hearing it. I know he's responded to some of it, and he knows that all the talk about JOK coming in is going to be the next hot commodity for this team in the linebacker spot. Mac Wilson, we thought, was going to be that underrated star, the fifth round pick a few years ago, and now, even I mentioned that Monday night game and not getting a tackle in a game where they're going to run it down your throat. Those Ravens are going to run it down your throat, and linebackers got to come up and make a play. But I think him being able to step up has been a big thing, just because. And DPJ, I love that he's making plays, and I love the guy. I heard about look out for this guy for so long heading into training. It's it's kind of just meeting expectations. So it's not standing out to me, but I love to see it. I guess we're gonna find out in Jacksonville. Is Greedy really that bad, or is Donovan Peoples-Jones really that good? Because DPJ has been beating him a lot on the plays that you see on social media.
All right, so here's Chris Spann to answer your question. As of right now, yes, it's only on Twitter. I would imagine Facebook has a poll feature, so we'll have to investigate that, see if we can't get that on Facebook for non-Twitter users. All right, so Rob, stick around. Rob Ray, can you display that again, Fatty? I want to get back to his question here in a moment on Kansas City, Kareem Hunt. How many yards is he going to have week one? Hang tight. Before we move on, though, Donovan Peoples-Jones. We just talked about him quite a bit. Urban Meyer said that if he would have gotten to coach him, he would have been a top 10 talent. All right. Top 10 pick. All right. So there's also been a lot of speculation that he could potentially be wide receiver one material for the Browns. Kevin, what do you think of these people saying these things? I mean, do you think people are off base here? Do you think this is realistic? What are your thoughts?
I don't think they're off base, because we know that when you go to the school up north, your talent is really it's downtrodden. It's put into the hamper. Honestly, you're handcuffed as a 5-star, 4-star recruit coming in to do anything. And Urban Meyer's right. I would take it a step further. If Brian Hartline, the wide receivers coach, got his hands under the Urban Meyer Ryan Day system at Ohio State, got his hands on a DPJ, he would have been a top 10 pick, because of what they're able to do with their wide receivers right now at Ohio State has been amazing. And seeing Chris Olave and those guys making plays at their camp right now too.
Possibly top 5.
Possibly top 5. And I think he could be number 1 material. Now we're going to have to see standout in camp translate to standout against other NFL talent and other 53-man rosters when the real dance starts in about a month. But I think he has that potential, and if he can reach it or go above that, boy, I mean, even with all these question marks about who can you keep with these $15 million wide receivers in Juice, Jarvis Landry, and Odell Beckham Jr., if you have to lose one, but you're finding that guy that's on that rookie deal and a 6th-round pick, boy, I mean, that's just, now you're starting to see a real culture built, a real team built where, yeah, you have to lose guys to free agency, and the young guys are ready to step in right from the start. I mean, I'll go to the best example I can, and I hate the Steelers, I hate Pittsburgh, but loved watching Cam Hayward at Ohio State. Cam Hayward didn't really get to start for the Steelers right away, but is now one of their stalwarts on that defense, just because bought into the culture, bought into the system, and was able to shine in that once he got his opportunity.
BJ, I know you have thoughts on this. You're throwing down some words in the private chat here. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, we was talking about. I'll use it just because of the team up north and because of proper language. But to dumb them, I feel like they dumbed down their prospects. And a perfect example is Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, was barely drafted after coming out of their system.
Yeah.
All right, that team up north. All right, Rob, we're gonna get to your question in just a second. Let's play a game. Kevin, here's the question.
All right, I gotta go.
BJ, all right, BJ, thanks.
Hey,
We
BJ.
we appreciate that. Oh man. All right, every week.
Hey.
Somebody come take his place. Click the link in the comments.
Kevin, you should be happy that you don't talk about hookers and blow on your show on Voice of the Land. We get it every week, at least one spot, and that's why we know pink flamingos are the best.
Hey, I mean, we've been told we need to loosen up a little bit too, though. Sometimes we get like too into it, but hey, we may be going a little too far to the realm of we're trying to build a career and getting too professional with this. Sometimes we could relax, not to the BJ level of relaxation,
Right?
but we could take some notes from the Dawgs Table on Voice of Land. That's for sure.
By the way, for most people that don't know, BJ is a Olympic champion, if I'm not right, correct?
He is actually he participated in he was on Team USA in some sort of he was a Paralympic bobsledder, I believe, or Olympics or World Cup or something. I think it was the Paralympics World Cup. He was on the bobsled team. So he's an amputee. Yeah, awesome feat for him to get back on the motorcycle and get to bobsledding for Team USA. So he's retired now, but yeah. That's a great point, Fatty. Great point.
I had to bring it up.
Yep. And all right, so here's a little game we play at the end of our Twitter poll segment. What answer do you think won, Kevin?
I'm going to say I'm going to go DPJ just because my Twitter feed is just DPJ did this, DPJ did that today, DPJ this. I love the guy. Like I'm a fan of his. I don't care what school you go to. If you're going to help one of my teams win, all of that is forgotten. Just like Baker putting the flag in the middle of the Block O on Ohio State's field. Like all of that is forgotten if you help a team that I am passionate about and I love win moving forward. So I'll go DPJ on this one.
All right. We have another Ginger on the show. Welcome to the show, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Turn your phone the other way.
There you go. All right. Chris is on the show. Hey, Chris, I know you've been watching. What do you think won this Twitter poll since you're not on Twitter?
Yeah, I guess I got to get on the Twitter tweeting. My bad. DPJ, I think. But Mac Wilson has been like a real fresh name, which I know you like that, Craig. I got to go with DPJ, though.
All right. So here are the results. Fatty, I'd ask you, but you already know what the answers are. DPJ, 51.9%. Mac Wilson, 24.3%. Jadeveon Clowney, 19%. 4.8% said somebody else. All right. So I want to get back to this question from Rob Ray. Fatty, can you pull that up here?
I will try. Give me 1 second. And boom, I got it.
All right. I actually can't wait for this. I can't wait for Kareem Hunt to go up against this Kansas City defense again. How many yards is Kareem Hunt going to put up week 1 versus Kansas City? What do you think, Fatty? Do you have a guess?
Depends on what Nick Chubb puts up.
Right.
I think that's the biggest question. I love Kareem Hunt, but the way these horses run is Nick Chubb's first, and Kareem Hunt is the backup right now. So I love Kareem Hunt with his passing ability or pass catching ability, and his able to be elusive. But I think, like we've all talked about, this team goes with Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb runs this team. And Kareem Hunt is great. I love Kareem Hunt. I hope for 100 yards. I hope for a breakout game from him. But if not, I want 150 from Nick Chubb, because if I know Nick Chubb gets 150, we're running it right.
This is a way too early prediction, and I have absolutely zero to back it up other than intuition. But I think each of them have over 100 all-purpose yards. You're not going to see it all on the ground. You're not going to see it all over, all through the air. But I think it's realistic to think these guys could each get 100 all-purpose yards. Fatty, let's kind of change the subject here, because I know that there was something you wanted to talk about, and that was the Josh Allen effect on the Baker Mayfield extension talks. Let's hear your thoughts on what this news means for us, Fatty.
So, I just talked with Brian on Legal Hand to the Face, and we kind of hashed it out a little bit. If the Browns know that Baker is their guy, just pay him. At 6 years down the road or 5 years down the road, it's not going to matter, because the salary cap is going to be through the roof, that he's going to be like the 12th paid quarterback, because everybody else is getting a huge bump after him. So whatever you have to do if you truly believe in Baker Mayfield is your franchise quarterback, sign him, be done with it. If you want to make it Josh Allen money, that's fine. If you want to make it Patrick Mahomes money, that's fine. It's not our money, all right? We got to realize that. This is what the Browns think. It's not what we think. And if they go at him and go, hey, we think you're a $40 million quarterback, he goes, I don't like that. He's still got 2 more years on his contract. See what the hell he does. And then if he proves himself, then pay him the $50 million or whatever. It's not our decision. And this is the hardest thing for me as a fan and now as a contributor to what we do, is I can say my opinion, and I can say I would love to have Baker for 6 years, $43 million. I would love that Josh Allen deal, because I know 10 years down the road, we're going to get him for cheaper than that. But right now, you got to go with it. It's the going rate. And guess what? Quarterbacks are different than anybody else on the team. But I do have to say, the way Cleveland's doing it, I love every bit of it, because they locked up Chubb. They're in talks with Denzel Ward right now. They are in charge of what they're doing. Baker's going to get signed. It might not be now, it might not be later, but they're locking up the guys. They need to lock up before he takes a chunk out of that salary cap.
All right, so, rumor is that contract talks are heating up between Ward and the Browns, and that kind of shows that where the priorities where the progress is when it comes to talks between Mayfield. Yeah.
Kevin, am I wrong on that?
On what you said about the contract?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not doing negotiations, so I don't really give a damn. All I care about is winning.
Yes.
I see what you did there.
I love it.
I was waiting for the setup, because I had that that quote's been just rolling through my head since loaded. Sunday. But I mean, honestly, whether you think Baker's not quite as good, like he's close to that kind of money, within a million or $2 million, or he's a little bit better than Josh Allen, you're looking at the same contract, and why not just pay him now? But again, that's up to the Browns. That's up to Baker's representation on what they agree on and when they really want to get this done. You could go the route of get the quarterback, lock up your quarterback, then go for your other, see what you have left for everybody else. You already have Chubb taking a team-friendly deal. I don't know that Ward necessarily would for the position that he plays, but he might, and he's from this area. So, if they can get that kind of culture and that kind of mentality going into these negotiations and locking up their young talent on team-friendly deals, you can still give the quarterback the money, and then you still have money as you move forward to keep surrounding them with talent as you lose some of these talented players they have now. I mean, that's how you cycle through success and sustain success in this league, not just one and done, flash in the pan. You have to have guys buy in and have guys want to be wanted by you as an organization.
Chris, after hearing Jared and Kevin talk about this situation, yes, Jared.
Chris, I know what you got in your freezer. Do you have it? Does it come with a little red cap and it's all frozen?
I am all out.
You cannot be all out of it.
What are we talking about? Fireball?
Fireball.
There you go. Fatty's got his Fireball.
I'm waiting on my brother from another mother.
I don't have it. I'm sorry. I'll have it.
Oh, I gotta talk to my sister then. All right, I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that.
No.
Is
No.
that dog in the background?
It
Yeah,
is.
of course she's in the background. Go get him some Fireball.
She's always in the background, man. She's my rock. What can I say?
There you go. Chris, thoughts on Jared and Kevin's thoughts on the Baker Mayfield extension situation and Josh Allen?
I think the Browns are being really smart about it. You know, I was in a different boat a while back saying, you know what you got out of him. I think you know the caliber. Sign the guy. And I look back to the Seahawks a little bit. They gave Russell Wilson a monster contract, and then they decided, well, that's it. We'll just fill around him, and all of a sudden he's the most sacked quarterback in the league. He has nothing around him on the offensive line. So I kind of like the idea of building around him first. I don't see Josh Allen money, though.
All right. So, Kevin, do you think we'll eclipse the Josh Allen money?
I don't think so. If anything, it's going to equal it. I mean, to us, I know $1 million, $2 million difference is a lot, but in professional sports circumstances, that's not really a lot. So if you're kind of haggling between, like saying you're not as into Baker as you are Josh Allen, or vice versa, and this person deserves this million or two more, or this one deserves $1 million or two more, you're really talking about the same thing. So honestly, I could just see it being a push and being the same amount if they go that route.
All right, Fatty, I know you're up to no good up in that corner.
I'm sorry. My sister's texting me now and going, hey, do you think I'm actually going to go to the liquor store so you can have a drink with my husband? Think again. So,
virtually.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. I love you, sis.
Bigger priority. Teller Award. What do you guys think, Fatty?
I think Denzel Ward. I think Denzel Ward all day, because that gives you a lockdown corner. Eric, I'm sorry, you're still here. I think that gives you a lockdown corner when he is healthy. The thing that scares me about Teller is you still have an offensive line besides Teller. Yes, Teller played great, but you also drafted some other guys with Hudson, and Hudson, I guess, is doing really good as a swing, and he could probably fill in as a guard. But right now, I think the biggest thing you need to sign is Denzel Ward. He's from here. He knows this place. He loves being a Brown. And when they throw to him, it's not that often those passes get caught. He is that good when he is healthy. So I got to go Denzel Ward all day.
Kevin, who's the bigger priority, Teller or Ward?
I'm going with Fatty. It's Ward, and it's nothing against Teller. Like, if you're going to force me to pick one in a pass-happy league, I'm going for the cornerback. You need to at least be able to shut down half the field. If you can shut down both sides, if you can get shut down corners or close to that on both sides of the field, all the better for your team. But at least you got to have one of them. And, I mean, this is a guy in Denzel Ward who comes out in his first game against Ben Roethlisberger when, Ben was still being Ben. And, yes, it was a monsoon, but he's able to pick off Ben twice in his first game in that tie to open up the season in 2018. But a guy that's been on the big stage, knows what it takes. And, again, you need that cornerback. You can't really find them and always get them to a higher level than they can play on that end. At right guard or on the offensive line, yes, we have Bill Callahan, but whatever he's instilling, he may not be here forever in the Kevin Stefanski era. But now what he's coaching these offensive linemen to do, that now will get passed down from the other coaches that take over and the players as well. Because when a player talks to another player and they can have that impact on them, sometimes that even has a bigger emphasis and impact from player to player than it does from player to coach.
All right, so we are in a pass-happy league. I agree with you 100% there. Both these guys have direct implications on the passing game, albeit different sides of the field, though. I can certainly respect this kind of argument going either way. Chris, after hearing what Fatty and Kevin had to say, what do you think?
I'm in full agreement. Ward he's a difference maker. He shuts down the best receivers in the game. He'll lock down an entire side of the field, and to me, it's no question. I would lock him up first and foremost.
Outstanding. Excellent point. And Western Summit says Teller has more to prove. They're both injury prone, but Teller has only been amazing for like 7 games. I don't know. Wyatt Teller, here's the thing. He was a top 3 PFF player last year, not at the guard position, at any position in the entire league. Fatty, you're shaking your head.
It's PFF. You take that.
What's wrong with PFF?
Everybody can say what they want. It's the heart of the person. I don't care about PFF.
Paul DePodesta cares about PFF.
Well, guess what? I'm glad he got a 5-year extension that we haven't talked about yet.
We talked about it last week.
Fatty. They're all aligned, Fatty. Come on now. I mean, get with it.
I'm sorry.
Wasn't that the big signing last week? Oh, yeah, that's right. That was Nick Chubb. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Seriously.
And we did talk about DePodesta. Where were you?
And especially DePodesta signing a running back for what? Running backs don't get signed. They're a dime a dozen.
DePodesta's not signing anybody. He's pushing the spreadsheets over to Andrew Berry.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think the way to describe this team right now is it's finally a football decision-based team allowing analytics to help drive that, just like every other team and every other professional league, rather than being an analytics-driven team who tries to overthink and think they're smarter than everyone else with their football decisions. And that's the biggest. That's the biggest. That's the most important and best thing about this team right now. Football first, analytics helping and information helping drive those decisions. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay if you're going to go dive into analytics. Just don't just be looking at your calculator or looking at a sheet full of numbers and thinking that's going to tell you the whole story about how you need to structure your football team.
All right. So we are getting to the end of our show. So we're going to move on here. I have a question for you, Kevin. The whole idea of our show is that we have those come on to the show with us and come eat at the table, bring something to the table. Is there anything Browns related that we have yet to talk about that you want to discuss, or a question you'd like to pose?
Wow. That is a good question to pose about a possible question.
Come eat
so
with
many
us,
questions.
brother. Come eat with us.
So, I mean, looking at this team, I guess going off of the contract situation, does it happen this offseason for Baker or next offseason? Where are you guys at?
I like it.
Not what you want them to do. Where do you think this ends up for this team? Because we talk about it so much. I'm so ready for it to be done, but I don't know if we're done with this conversation.
I appreciate the question. Sorry for putting you on the spot, but that is an outstanding question. I'm going to go next year. I think that we're going to go full season before we see any movement on this front. There's literally no reason for Baker Mayfield to sign. Even if the Browns want to lock him up, there's no reason for him to sign, because he is going to, I don't see the sky falling here with Baker Mayfield. Even if he has an underwhelming season, it's going to be average or above average compared to his peers. But worst case scenario, he gets franchise tagged 3 years in a row like Kirk Cousins and ends up making $100 million over 3 years. And if he's going to bet on himself, why would you sign a deal? All right.
But I get that, but you're going to piss him off if you do that. And just like they did with Kirk Cousins, and look where Kirk Cousins is at now. Washington did that to him, pissed him off, and he went to Minnesota. Do you really want your quarterback to go to Minnesota? Who do they got now? Who's Washington? Oh, wait. Ryan Fitzmagic.
Ryan, are you talking about in Washington?
Yes.
Yeah, Fitzmagic. But all right, so that's not what I want to happen. Kevin said, "What do you think will happen?" I think he'll wait until after the season to sign. Jared, what do you think's going to happen? You think he's going to sign this offseason, during the season, after the season?
I think he's going to sign before the bye week. I think they're going to go with the first few games, maybe 5 or 6, And then after that, they're going to get their full board that they need, especially with him being a second year in his second season with his second head coach. Like, we got to realize that Baker has never had a head coach twice. He's had 4 head coaches, 3 offenses, and he's going back to the same offense coordinator, same coach. I think you're going to take it with a grain of salt, see how he does the first few weeks, and I think it gets done before the bye week.
Fair enough. Chris, any thoughts?
I think next season. I think they'll go the full season.
All right. Kevin, I'm going to ask you to answer your own question. What do you think?
I'm thinking we're talking about this next off season. If he plays well, not for long. I understand, he plays best with a chip on his shoulder. I just don't want us to play this game of, that chip gets bigger and bigger and trying to play this lottery game of, how much can you test that chip to get the best out of Baker before he becomes aggravated and becomes more of a problem off the field with all these discussions and conversations and haggling over a contract. How long does that take before it becomes an issue? I don't see him becoming an issue, but every person at some point finds a breaking point if someone keeps playing you off the field.
All right. So with that being said, we are going to end the show. And we appreciate everybody that's joined the show. If you guys don't mind, hang around for just a minute. But Fatty, remind everybody where you're at. Where are you broadcasting from?
I am on at Ham Illegal, Illegal Ham to the Face. I am that fat guy on Twitter. We do a live show once a month. Like I'm here at Razzles right now. We pick a bar or a sports bar to go to, show the atmosphere, show the food. Because we are all about Cleveland sports and Cleveland food when it comes to Legal Ham to the Face. And with you bringing me onto the Dawgs Table, I appreciate everything, brother.
Absolutely. And we appreciate everybody that watched the show tonight. And until next time, go Browns.
Go Browns.